Welcome to Meet the Candidates 2024, a voter education program brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber of Commerce. My name is Tim Zunker, and I am the president with the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. Our hope is that these candidate interviews and profiles will help you, the voter, understand your choices when it comes to the 2024 election. We ask voters to arm themselves with the information necessary to make educated choices and to make casting your vote a priority. Please visit the Shakopee Chamber website at shakopee.org to find out more information about the upcoming election for Shakopee City Council. And now I'd like to welcome Mike Luce, who is running for Shakopee City Council. Mike, thank you for joining us today. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a lifelong resident of Shakopee. I was born here in the old St. Francis Hospital, which no longer exists. And I've seen a lot of changes here. I was born in 1955 here, so yeah, it puts me up there with a lot of the older residents, but I still want to be involved, and I think I can provide some benefits to the city. The growth here has been unbelievable over all the years, and recently it's just exploding, and I think we need to keep a sharp eye on it so it's done right. And that's part of the reason that I'm running, is I think I can provide some background on what we should expect from the growth. You know, from my point of view, I think the citizens have been paying a lot of the load that comes with growth, and I think we should put more of it back on the businesses that come in, and the citizens are being used a lot, is the way I look at it, and I'm here to represent those that feel the same way. So, that's where my views are for now.
Great.
We'll see what your questions bring out in the next few minutes.
All right. Well, thank you, Mike. Well, let's get into those questions. First one is, you kind of answered it, but if you want to continue, is why are you running for city council?
I believe that the growth here has been too quick. I think we need to curtail it a little bit and educate ourselves on what's coming in, and be a little more selective. I think they just, not that you can stop things from coming in, but I believe that we need to be more cautious on the different companies that come here, because a lot of them are looking for assistance, and, how many handouts can the citizens of Shakopee pay for? I mean, we have subsidized housing, and I agree that we need it. The people that use it are entitled to some assistance, but the companies should bear some of the cost. Sure, they pay taxes, but if most of their workers are low income, then they should be putting forward some more profits, if you would, from their company to help support the people that they're employing. Why should the citizens of our town have to supply their workforce for them, and police force, everything else that goes along with it? The people here are burdened enough. You want to make everybody in the same boat as low income? That's not right. I mean, you want to bring those people up in their financial standings, but you need to do it in a proper manner. You don't just hand out money.
Great, thank you. What are your top 3 priorities if elected to the city council, and how do you plan to address them?
Well, like I just said, I think we need to put a moratorium on expansion for probably a year or two, just to get a better handle on things that are going on. I mean, I believe that city staff loves to make the city grow, because the more people here, the bigger their salaries. And some of those people don't even live in Shakopee, which to me should be I know it's against the law to make it a mandatory thing that you have to live in the city you deal with, fire department, police department, things like that. It is a prerequisite to be on the city council. You have to live there. But if you really check the standards, there's ways around that too. I don't believe that they have the best interests of Shakopee. I think they got the best interests of their wallet. They're getting more people to come. The bigger the population, their salaries go up, and that's basically an automatic. And I believe we need to just at least curtail it for a time being so we can plan this out better. I mean, Shakopee, I've been here since 1955, and this town has never grown as fast as it is now. It's just exploding, and you need a lot of oversight when a town is growing this fast, and I believe that we do not have the oversight right now. I think everything is just going at a rapid pace, and the current council is just allowing things at will. And I think, well, personally, I believe the city staff is running the council. It isn't the council running city staff. If you look at the way the city structure is, it's mayor, city council, then city administrator. And I think they have it reversed. I think they have city staff and city administrator above council because I think they're running the council. The council's not running the city. And I do believe that definitely needs to change.
Great. Thank you, Mike. What strategies do you propose for managing the city's budget while ensuring necessary services and infrastructure improvements?
I think that we could do a comprehensive report on what all the money is being spent on, and then weed out some of the things that I guess you could call frills, things that are they essential or not? Right now, the economy is fair. I wouldn't say it's great. And anything that we can eliminate would benefit for the taxpayers. And I think the taxpayers deserve every bit of the discretion they can get from the city because they pay the bills. The city, they don't just print money like the federal government. They have to get it from the taxpayers. And the taxpayers are burdened enough with everything else. They don't need their property taxes to keep going up. If the current council hadn't given away all the freebies to the Canterbury development out there, where the contractor out there should have been paying all the infrastructure costs, not the citizens of Shakopee. If you understand the way it's being done, Canterbury is paying taxes on the upgrades out there, but anything over and above what the land was when it was vacant, Canterbury is getting back to pay off the infrastructure costs, which in essence is the citizens of Shakopee are paying for all the infrastructure costs. And normally that burden is held by the developer, not by the citizens of the town that they're doing it in. In some cases it's necessary. I did vote to do it the first time around. I wanted to incentivize to get the development going out there, but had I been reelected, I would never have gone forward with any more giveaways to Canterbury. Give them one, get them rolling. They can go on their own then because the growth out there is ridiculous. Sure, there's going to be some nice things going on out there. We got the amphitheater, but, we're going to have to see what that brings. That might bring crowds that are so large that you aren't going to be able to get around in town because the traffic, we've seen it before with different things out there where the traffic gets so deep that the roads are just jammed and nobody can move. So to be seen how they handle it, and with all the different road work that's been done, we'll see if it works out. But I sure hope that they've planned that properly because I remember when they had concerts and you couldn't even move in town. It was just ridiculous. So smart growth is the best, not just giving everything away.
Great. Thank you, Mike. How do you plan to strengthen economic development to support existing businesses and attract new businesses to Shakopee?
Well, like I've said here in the past couple minutes, I think we need a moratorium to attracting new businesses. we can still talk to them. There's some incentives that we can bring forward after we, like I said, put a moratorium on for a year for any development, and there still can be discussions for after that year. A lot of this stuff, it takes years before companies move anyway, so they would give them time to get everything down pat and look it over more. The way the growth is going now, I think it's exponentially getting out of hand, because I don't know how anyone can keep control of what's going on. It's way too quick. Slow it down, take a breath, and get a handle on everything, and probably devise a plan on how you want it to go instead of just letting it go by itself. So, take a look at everything better.
Thank you, Mike. And how will you work to ensure transparency and communication between the City Council and Shakopee residents?
Well, being we don't have a local newspaper anymore, the city website is probably your best bet, or watching council meetings. You don't have to watch them while they're going on. They're on tape. You can watch them anytime you feel free to, think you want to log in and look at them. Some people could care less. I know I talk to a lot of people and they ask, why are you on a run, and what good does it do, and all this and that. Well, if that's the way you feel about it, then don't complain when things don't go the way you like it. If you're not involved, you have no reason or no real right to complain, or all you hear when you're in office is people complaining, or as I would like to say, they like to bitch. They bitch about their taxes and all this and that. Well, were you involved in any of the decisions? Did you come to city council meetings? Did you give your opinion on things? Your opinion, when I was on the council before, anybody that came and spoke, I was listening to. One of the things I listened to very well was when a group of concerned parents came to council when we were going to redo a playground. They wanted to have us hold back a little bit so they could fundraise to make it a special needs playground. And what that is children with, it used to be called handicaps. It's now called special needs. They can do most of the things that the average child can do. They just need a little assistance in different areas. And after they did their presentation, I thought about it for a while, and I approached the group and asked if they would want some assistance, and they welcomed my assistance, because most of the parents, I should say all of the parents had special needs children. So it made it difficult for them to get out and fundraise or do anything like that. So I threw my weight into it, if you want to call it that. It seems like just being on the council opens doors. People want to bend your ear on something else. Well, if you're coming to them to talk to them about fundraising, well, as long as you're here, let's talk about this. And it worked out, because talking to the company that installed all the playground equipment and things, they told us that it usually took a minimum of 2 years to fundraise to do one of these projects. After I heard about it and decided to join the group, I spent many days going to every company in town and asking them if they would assist us and throw some funds our way. And we ended up over fundraising the project, and there was money in the bank for maintenance, and we did it in, I think it was 9 months from the time we started to the day the children were playing on the playground. And everybody said that was just unheard of. And I euphemistically like to call it, we had a baby, because 9 months to do a playground for children who hadn't had anything before that was acceptable for them to play on. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, the surfaces, 100% virgin rubber. There's no sand. The kids aren't coming home dirty. You go out there 1 hour after it rains, the playground is dry. The water goes right through the surface. So, if mom's having a bad day or a good day, depending on how you want to look at it, and wants to take the children out there, she doesn't have to worry about them coming home all filthy and wet and everything else. So I think it's 100% plus for everybody. The special needs children get to recreate like the average child, and it integrates the two groups together. The special needs children get to deal with the average child, and the average child sees what other children have to deal with. And one of my best memories of being out there to see things was when a child in a wheelchair was using the slide, and one of the other children brought their wheelchair around for them so they could get back in and do whatever next thing they wanted to do. And when you see that, if that doesn't tug at your heart, then you got to be a stone cold killer is the only thing I can think, because that was amazing. And enough of this. I can go on forever about this because it was one of the things I really enjoyed doing. It was a lot of work, but it was very rewarding. And I think our city is considerably better for it because it's one of a few in the whole area. So anyway, thank you for that amount of time to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that is it for our questions. So I'd like to give you the opportunity to give your closing statement and message to the voters.
Well, I've proven it before. I like to get involved, and if a good project comes along, I'm not going to get involved in every project because nobody agrees with everything. But if it's something that I agree with, I throw myself into it 100%. Like I was saying with the playground there, I'd take 2, if not 3 days a week off and go out and fundraise and, beat the doors of every business in town. I hit every door twice, some of them 3 times, because it wasn't a matter of harassing them. It was just a matter of, the third time was to go collect a check from them and, drop it off. And, every company was very open to helping. And, I think the civic pride that all these companies and citizens that work at these companies, because a lot of the citizens that work at these companies, once they heard what was going on, they were very much behind the project. They helped promote it with their director or the president of the company. They stepped up, and it was fun. Another thing that I find that I think needs to be something done with is these parklets downtown. If anybody who has a business downtown, ask them what the biggest problem is downtown. It's parking. Not enough parking. So what do? They put parklets out and take away parking so there's seating for a couple of restaurants and bars. That makes absolutely no sense at all. They're used 2-3 hours a day maximum, and that's when the weather's perfect. It's either too hot or too cold to sit out there. It's raining, whatever. Whoever came up with this idea, and from what I understand, it was federal money from COVID that they used to buy these. I think they could have come up with a better idea to buy something else than parklets. Parking is just ridiculously scarce downtown, and you're cutting your nose off to spite your face. You want to bring people downtown. You put in the parklet. You think they want to sit outside, but you eliminate the parking. So that common sense just doesn't make sense to me on that one. They goofed really bad on that project. I would hope that if I was on there and I could point out that, this stuff, there's a lot of flaws in what they want to do. Like the project they're doing downtown right now, and they did one, I think it was 4 years ago, redoing a city parking lot, and they put all this water retention containers under the parking lot. For what? I mean, it's a steel culvert that's got a lifespan. Eventually they're going to rot out, and that parking lot's going to cave in. If they do it properly and redo the parking lot before somebody gets hurt, before the thing rots out and the car drives over and falls through, that's one thing. But what's the lifespan on one of those things? I mean, I have no idea. I mean, it's heavy culverts that are in there, so I'm guessing it's 30 years, but the parking lot they're replacing has probably been in there for 40 or 50 years. So, and what are they going to do with the water? Are they going to pump that out and use it to water plants? I have no idea, but you're talking rainwater that's been used in a parking lot. It's coming off of, there's all kinds of contaminants on a parking lot. You got oil, you got gas leakage, all kinds of nasty stuff. Do you really want to be watering plants with that? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. You got salt from the winter, you got... Yeah, the common sense just doesn't work, and I don't see any other city around doing anything like that. I don't know who came up with this idea, but to me it makes zero common sense. Just redo the parking surface. And now that I'm talking about the parking downtown, how come the city provides free parking to the businesses downtown when the business and all the other outlying areas have to pay for the parking in front of their place in their rent? Downtown, that's free parking. The citizens of Shakopee pay for all the parking downtown. Sure, it's an older area, but it just doesn't make sense that one group has to pay for their parking, another group gets it free. There's got to be some viability between the two. That we're picking in winners and losers, and I don't agree with that. So I think there's a lot of things to look at with sitting on the council and making judgments. And maybe my outlook is not correct, and maybe some people are going to say, hey, right on, Well, hopefully there's more saying right on, because then I need your vote. And we'll try and correct some of these misguided ideas that I see. So if you believe in what I'm saying, vote for me. If you don't, I guess you got another choice to make. But I want to thank the chamber for this time, and hopefully I did some good for myself. If I didn't, well, I tried. So thank you for having me here.
Yeah, well, thank you, Mike. The views expressed in these interviews are those of the candidates, not those of the Chamber and Visitors Bureau. The Chamber is sponsoring these interviews as a service to the community and has gone to great lengths to ensure the objectivity. The Chamber does not endorse any candidate, but seeks to provide you, the citizens and voters of Shakopee, with the information you need to make an informed choice. The Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau extends a sincere thank you to the candidates. Again, thank you, Mike. We appreciate your time and your service to our community by running for office. You're performing an important service to us all. Again, thank you for joining us for this edition of Meet the Candidates 2024. Thanks, Mike.